Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
3844.
The United States and the United States Congress have faced down much greater threats than the unhinged crowd we saw today.
Yeah, you.
We've never been deterred before, and will be not deterred today. They tried to disrupt our democracy. They failed. They failed. They failed to attempt to obstruct the Congress. This failed insurrection only underscores how crucial the task before us is for our republic.
He's a victim, you know. Mitch the bitch. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You're now relegated to minority status for the rest of your days, I hope. All right, so here's some breaking news. Looks like Nancy Pelosi, I could play the clip again. She called for the vice president to immediately remove Donald Trump via the use of the 25th Amendment. And in lieu of that, she said that she would go for impeachment. Here.
As yesterday, the President of the United States incited an armed insurrection against America. The gleeful desecration of the U.S. Capitol, which is the temple of our American democracy, and the violence targeting Congress are horrors that will forever stain our nation's history, instigated by the President of the United States. That's why it's such a stain. In calling for this seditious act, the President has committed an unspeakable assault on our nation and our people. I joined the Senate Democratic leader in calling on the Vice President to remove this president by immediately invoking the 25th Amendment. If the Vice President and the Cabinet do not act, the Congress may be prepared to move forward with impeachment. That is the overwhelming sentiment of my caucus. And the American people, by the way.
Yes, and the American people. That's correct, Nancy Pelosi. That's correct, Madam Speaker. Chuck Schumer said that he was on the phone and that he had tried to call Mike Pence to discuss this with him, and they left him on hold for 25 minutes, he said, 20 minutes, and never came to the phone.
Speaker Pelosi and I tried to call the Vice President this morning to tell him to do this. They kept us on hold for 25 minutes.
25.
And then said the Vice President wouldn't come on the phone.
Yeah.
So we are making this call public.
And yesterday, the National Association of Manufacturers, which is a lobby shop, I know this because that was Howard's very first lobbyist position. The National Association of Manufacturers, he was the lobbyist for them. Okay. Anyway, the CEO is a guy we know. His name's Simmons. Anyway, he put out a very lengthy statement yesterday. The National Association of Manufacturers, that is a freaking lobby shop, saying that the president has to have the 25th Amendment invoked against him and removed at once, forthwith, right now. And so the ball started rolling yesterday. I was calling for it yesterday as I was watching this horror show, right? Saying if there was ever a president that the 25th Amendment was made for, it's this one. So now because Nancy and Chuck cannot get through to the president, the National Association of Manufacturers also was refused calls yesterday by Donald Trump. He refused to get on the phone. Business leaders of all stripes called him yesterday, and he refused to get on the phone. Then everybody started calling the Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, and he refused to get on the phone. Today, Mike Pence refused to get on the phone. So Nancy Pelosi said that if they don't get a response on the 25th Amendment by Monday, now tomorrow's Friday, they'll give them a day. By Monday, they are prepared to introduce articles of impeachment in a pro forma session of the House. They'll waive all the rules and they'll vote same day on the floor to impeach this president on Monday. On Monday. You heard it here first. Because Congress has gone home. Their last act was last night, where they certified the electoral college votes, the slates. But they will have a pro forma session. They will waive the rules, meaning it doesn't, for those of you who are really, geeked out, you know that articles of impeachment must start in the Judiciary Committee. But in this case, they will waive the rules. It will not have to go through the Judiciary Committee. It will just, they will be introduced on the floor and a vote will ensue. And then they'll kick it over to the Senate. And Mitch McConnell is not enjoying his new position as minority leader. And in the newspaper today, it said that Donald Trump was gleeful watching this protest. He was so happy to see all the trashing of the Capitol. He was happy to see the violence. He was happy to see blood spilled. He was happy to see them pull down the American flag that flies over the Capitol and try and foist up a Trump 2020 flag. He was happy to see the police be law and order, Blue Lives Matter. He was happy to see the police have their shields taken away from them and used to break windows and enter into the Capitol by using the Capitol Police's shields and battering rams and all that, right? He was happy. He was enjoying it because he said he was angry. He was angry and he enjoyed the fact that Mitch McConnell lost. He actually said he was glad that Georgia went to the Democrats. He actually said that. And Mitch McConnell, listen, screwing with his power, that's all Mitch McConnell cares about, is his power. And he has none now. He has a vote. He's one of 100. He went from top banana, top of the heap, king of the hill, to 1 in 100 votes. That's all he got. I don't even know what committee they'll give him to sit on. It's going to be fun. All right. Nancy in Washington.
Hey, I've been a Democrat, liberal, since before I knew what those words meant. But I've lived my whole life around, conservatives or Democrats that were Democrats for unions, but they were still, prejudiced and stuff. And the thing is, though, that a lot of these people have been there for me. Through my worst times in my life, they have helped me. I see
what
them
people?
that they're smart, they're talented.
Who?
They do all these
union
all these
people?
conservative people that are
conservative.
cartoons now because of QAnon.
Oh.
And I just feel bad. It breaks my heart. It's my friends, it's my family, and they've all drank this Kool-Aid.
I know. I get that. I get that feeling because, when I saw that this girl that was shot in the neck yesterday was an Air Force veteran, as a female Air Force veteran, we're not, in large numbers. I felt for her. I really did. She believed her commander-in-chief. She literally did. She really believed him.
Yeah, but I mean, they're much more than what this is. It's like we could talk about have all these life-affirming.
Hey, listen, I'm sure there are very nice people who have gone off the deep end and killed their wives in a fit of rage, but now they're in jail. Because once you cross that line, once you find yourself standing in front of the Capitol with a Molotov cocktail and or a long gun and or a cooler full of ammunition, or once you find yourself, using any sort of a chemical weapon against a police officer at the Capitol, or breaking windows and climbing up into or threatening senators or congressmen with violence, see what I mean? That's what law and order means. You can say pert near anything in this country, but it all has consequences. But if you do violence, you've taken away the consequences of, let's say losing friends and family or karma or whatever, and you've now crossed over into a judge and jury situation. So did I feel bad that this woman believed her commander-in-chief as an Air Force veteran? Yeah, I did. But she did, and she's dead. Tina in New York.
Hi. Oh, God, Randy, please hear me. I am really grateful for the knowledge you impart and the work you do and what you put up with to get that knowledge. I am a knowledge junkie, not quite a geek, but a junkie. But I'm really calling because I live in a sea of red and of apathy, and your passion and your aliveness is a lifesaver for me. It keeps me sane. It is my company, and I cannot thank you enough for keeping the passion alive, for being involved in the truth.
So you want to do something
really
for me?
called to thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. You want to do something for me?
Yes.
Tell all those people in the Sea of Red to tune in.
I do.
Okay. Tell them now, before they find themselves in a judge and jury situation. For them, it's not too late. If all they've done is say things, there's still time to grow and learn and be a patriotic American. RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.